The following is a presentation of TV6 Sports.
Good evening, everyone. If you follow Upper Peninsula sports, you've seen the incredible story of the North Central Jets as they continued their winning streak on the way to the state championship. 83-game winning streak, that's the longest in the United States right now.
Pretty good for a team from a little town in the Upper Peninsula. But that's not the only state champions we'll focus on tonight in this edition of UP Power. The Marquette boys and girls ski team continued their dominance in the state of Michigan, while a UP wrestler won the first overall state championship for Manistee this year. But first, let's head over to Mike Ludlum as he looks at a recap of the North Central Jets season.
The Menominee Maroons had the best chance of stopping North Central's winning streak in December. Scary moment in the first quarter as Jason Whiten lands with a thud. It took a couple seconds to clear the cobwebs. He said he was okay, then made the free throw. Whitens had 22 points. Marcus Krasinski chipped in with 16. Jets won 70-59, raising the streak to 59 games. Jump ahead to late January, North Central had the opportunity to tie Chassell for the state's longest winning streak at 65 games. Chassell accomplished the feat back in 1958. Dawson Bilski scored 19 points. Jason Whitens kept saying, "Dunk you very much." He had a season-high 33. The Jets cruised to the record-tying win, 76-24. Run This Town by Jay-Z was the theme for the record-breaking game at home against Park River Harris. The tempo was set quickly. Whitens, Krasinski, Bobby Kleiman, a layup and the foul, 11-0 Jets. Then Dawson Bilski took command, driving the lane for the layup and foul. He converted the free throw, giving the Red and Black a 48-11 halftime lead and 1,000 points in his career. North Central broke the state record it shared with Chassell for 3 days, galloping past Park River Harris 74-29. One goal down, many more remaining.
We've taken all the pictures we need to take. We're going to do all the interviews we need to do. At the end of the season, we'll be able to look back on this moment and really appreciate it. But we're still in the middle of the season. We're only one game up in the conference, and I think we got a lot more to prove.
North Central went 20-0 to raise the winning streak to 75 games at the end of the regular season. The regional opener didn't look to be a problem, except Dollar Bay came to play. Devin Schmidt hit shots from every part of Negaunee Lakeview Memorial Gym, 40 points for the Blue Bolts Junior. The Jets started the third quarter well. Bobby Kleiman had 2 of his 25 with this jumper. Whiten's dunk was part of his 18 points. Dollar Bay still scored at the buzzer, but the Jets tiptoed away with a 75-73 victory. After wins over Rapid River and Hillman, North Central arrived in East Lansing to face favored Southfield Christian in the Class D semifinal. This was an instant classic. Late in overtime, Jason Whitens buries a three-pointer to send the contest into double overtime. Whitens had 31 points and 10 rebounds. Second OT, Southfield Christian's Harold Beverly and finds Brock Washington just over Bilski's reach for 3. The Eagles lead 83-82, and they're celebrating like there's no tomorrow. But there's 6.5 seconds remaining. Coach Adam Mercier's play was revised on the fly. Krasinski barely found Bilski in time. Option number 1 not available. Bilski spots Seth Golfus, caught it like a hot potato, fake 2 defenders. Yes! The basket counted after the review, and North Central moved to the final with an 84-83 double overtime victory over Southfield Christian.
Coach said that if they play Dawson Jade up tight, I was going to go screen, and they played him loose, so I went down. And beforehand, I was thinking that they're going to double Doss, and if I get that opportunity, I'm going to have the chance. And Dawson threw it at me, and it went right through my hands and almost out of bounds. And I saved it, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up, because usually that's my first instinct, and I dribbled and I pump faked. And I don't really remember what happened after that. I kind of just threw it up on the rim, I've been through, I didn't even know how much time was on the clock, to be honest. So when it went in, I was just kind of like, what just happened? You deserved it! You deserved it!
Not that you need to validate this victory, Jason, but a win over Buckley in the final would really be nice.
Tradition runs deep in the Whitens household. While most people know Jason has won 5 state championships, his father, Gerald, helped start the family tradition in 1984 with the state championship of his own.
We had the same kind of mentality as the boys that we have here now, is that every time we walked on the floor, we expected to win. And it didn't matter who we played. We were a close-knit group of kids. We had 2 seniors, Rick Hansen and Scott Johnson, and the rest of us were juniors. So we all kind of fell in line playing our roles.
My dad always tells me he blazed the path for us, and as much as I don't like to admit it, he did, because, you know, it gave us a goal, and he gave us the insight of how to do it, how to go do the right things, how to get there.
Naturally, with all the athleticism in the family, there is also healthy competition.
It's all in good fun, you know. It's nice to have that, because life's all about competition. Wherever you go, there's going to be competition. So to have that in my household, having it being on the fun side, but also can drive me to be the best I can be in everything I do.
Except when it comes to playing games on the PlayStation.
We learn more from a loss than we ever do from a win. Except the fact that when we were playing PlayStation one time, he was up by 50 and he onside kicked. And I was really mad at him, and I told him, I said, that's it, I'm never playing you again.
Despite all of the success that Jason has accomplished in his life, he keeps a particular lesson his father taught him on his mind at all times.
Let your game do the talking, you don't do the talking. You know, you're out there, you're just playing. Show them who you are, who you're made to be. Just prove to yourself and to the community that you're here for one reason, and that's to be the best you can be.
And Gerald couldn't be more proud of what his son has accomplished.
It's hard not to be emotional, obviously, when you talk about him. I'm so proud of him because of not the athletic side of it, but he's done it in the right way. It's not the success, it's the journey in life. So when I look at Jason, I am so proud of the fact that he's done this with humility. He truly has deflected all the honors.
But he also knows his son has had help along the way.
We do the best we can, but then I had the opportunity to not only turn him over to the school, but in athletics, Adam Mercier and Coach Belfi, what they've been able to do for Jason has just been unbelievable. The time that they've put in, both on the court and off the court, to bring him to the man that he is that I am just truly grateful.
When basketball season begins next year, Jason will be at Western Michigan representing the Upper Peninsula, with his family supporting him every step of the way. One of the most exciting moments of the year was that 83rd consecutive win. Here's Mike Ludlum.
The Jets did not practice the day before the championship game against the Buckley Bears. Considering how North Central started, that was a great idea. Dawson Bilski poured in 18 points in less than 6 minutes. Marcus Krasinski hit 2 of his 11 points, and the Jets scored a state finals record 38 points in the first quarter to lead by 18, 38-20. But Bilski picked up his 4th foul early in the 4th quarter. Rich Beeman's outstanding tip-in brought the Bears within 68-65 with 2.5 to go. North Central realized it needed to drive to the basket. Bilski took advantage of a defender who slipped, headed to the paint, and hit the hoop. The Michigan Tech recruit finished with 25 points. Then Whitens made a couple jumpers in the lane. He had 23. The 8-0 run sealed the Jets' 3rd straight Class D state championship, 78-69. A nation-leading 83 consecutive wins. Next up, crossing the Mackinac Bridge and heading back to Powers.
One of the greatest moments that you'll witness in the Upper Peninsula is the escort home of a state champion. For North Central, this is the 5th time in 3 years that the school has had this honor. And for Coach Mercier and the Jets basketball team, it is truly an amazing sight every time.
Once we got in the UP and you know, the support of like all the fire departments and the policemen, you know, we really do appreciate that. That does mean a lot. It makes it all worthwhile. You know, it's exciting and we appreciate it.
That escort was nuts. There were some stretches where you could see just a long ways, and you know, there's cars in front of us, behind us, just absolutely nuts, honking horns the whole way. That's when you know you have a good community. You know, Not many teams could ask for that.
Once the escort concluded, it was time for the Jets to see their family, friends, and fans that supported them in East Lansing. Then it was the Jets' turn to thank the community for all of their support.
Couple of thanks to get out of the way. Fire department, fire department emergency personnel, we were basically escorted all the way from St. Ignace on. People who donated Gatorade, waters, food. People set up the gym, while we're on our way home and while people are celebrating. There's people that are working very hard to get the gym set up. I thank my 2 kids, Bryson and Brody. I've never thanked them because they've always been too young, but now they're getting pretty old. They even joined me for the press conference.
But that wasn't the only thank you being passed around this night. Assistant coach Gerald Whitens thanked head coach Adam Mercier for all the hard work. But first, he had to tell a joke.
First of all, I don't know if you guys, when you watch the game on TV, you would notice that where the coaching box is, it's right in front of me, okay? So for the whole time we're down there, I get to look at his little butt. I don't know if he's boxing me out so I don't yell at the refs, but I gotta look at that. So for one moment, you're looking at mine, buddy.
All joking aside, though, Coach Whitens knows that it takes a great coach to be this successful.
I've heard Coach Mercier talk about these kids, and he's always mentioning that these kids have it. We don't always know what it is, but when you listen to him talk the whole night, never once did he say anything about himself, did he? Well, in other words, in order for players to have it, the coach has to have it.
After 83 straight wins and 3 consecutive Class D basketball state championships, these welcome back ceremonies will be remembered forever.
Jets coach and Associated Press Class D Coach of the Year Adam Mercier guided the North Central Jets to another state championship this year. What's his secret? Stay tuned. Ethan Schmidt talks to Coach Mercier when we come back.
Joining me at this time is the head basketball coach of the North Central Jets, Adam Mercier. Thank you so much for joining me today and getting a chance to talk to me here.
Thank you guys for coming down. It's great to have you guys come and showcase the North Central athletes and then what this community has seen over the last few years, and to get a little taste of that must be quite the experience.
You've had so much success with this team. You've had so much success with all these guys. What has made that happen? What has been, I guess, the formula to winning?
Well, it's all about the players. They have to buy into what we're trying to do as a program, and it all started just with camaraderie and teamwork and trying to get kids to believe in doing things together.
Let's go to the Southfield Christian game. Most people said that could have been the state championship. During the time where you guys had just a few seconds on the clock and a play had to be made, what did you tell your guys? What did you say to them to get them fired up for that?
Being the only situation these players ever been where we needed a game-winning shot at the end of the game, you had to trust the players in making decisions. And first option was going to be Jason. We figured that they were a good enough team that they were going to try to take Jason away with 2 different guys, trying to double team him. Dawson, of course, is our second option. And then Seth at the last minute, when Marcus was about to take out the ball, we noticed that they were in a zone defense, and we had Seth come over way below the free throw line to see if we can kind of sneak him back there. And Seth made a great read. Dawson made a good jump pass, threw a bullet there. Seth bobbled the ball. He says to this day he probably would have got munched against the board if he would have threw it up to start. But for him to bobble it, gather himself, and then do a shot fake, which he worked on that weekend before he went downstate. He asked what we could do differently when he gets double teamed, and we talked about faking. And he made that little shot fake, head fake, got the 2 guys up in the air, and then the rest is history.
5 years ago, if you and I were sitting down together and I said, Coach, in 5 years you're going to be an AP Coach of the Year, you're going to have a player who's the AP Player of the Year every year, you're going to have 3 state championships, you're going to have 83 consecutive wins, what would you tell me?
It's possible. With the players that we knew we were going to have, it would have been possible. I never thought it was unrealistic with the players that we had. And we've had some talented teams over the years. 6 years ago we made it downstate into the semis, and we had a talented team then. And once we got down there and we got a taste of it, we knew that we can compete at that level.
The magic number is 83. Going into next season, how important is it to you as a coach to keep continuing that number and to keep pushing that?
Well, the number is not important for us. It's a new season. We wanted to be a 2016-2017 team this year. We wanted to be the best North Central 2016-17 team we could be. So next year's goal is to be the best 2017-2018 team we can be. The target's still going to be on our back. Now these juniors are going to be seniors next year. The sophomores are going to be juniors. We need them to step up in big ways to continue on what has transpired before them, but also be their own team, have their own identity, and accomplish some great things along the way.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you. Coming up after the break, I'll tell you what drives the Jets fans to back their team. For the past 3 state championship runs, the communities of the North Central area have put several miles on their vehicles from all the trips to the Breslin Center and back. And the players know just how much support they receive from their community.
When you look behind us, we had a mile of cars following us, and then you had fire trucks in front of us, and it's a great feeling. I mean, having that every single year when you come back, it's nice to know that there's a lot of UP power up here, and having the UP supporting us is just amazing.
With a small community, it may be surprising how large the support system is, but those who live in the community understand how important it is to back their teams.
When we take a look at the community situation that we have here, the smaller the community, the closer it is. So many kids that I went to school with, you know, they have kids. So when I watch them play, those are my friends' kids. Those are my nephews. When you win a state championship, or you win, or you have great things that happen, you're really playing for your friends, your families, for the community. So when they win on the court, the fans win in the stands.
And being able to support the team is easy when you know it brings the community closer.
When we give to the program and we come to the games and we see the stands full every time, it just brings the community tighter together. And you could see it in the team, how that they bond as a family. All these kids played in the same sandbox. I've watched them grow up, and they truly are brothers.
Despite the size of the community of the North Central area, one thing that is certain is they will always travel to support their teams and show their UP power.
Manistee has never had an overall high school state champion in any sport. Next, you'll meet the wrestler who changed that. Plus, you'll see how powerful the UP continues to be on the slopes. Both stories when we return.
On March 4th, a Manistee wrestler made history for his community. Tanner Gonzalez became the first overall state champion in the school's history, a dream he's had since he was in 7th grade.
When I went to the state tournament my 7th grade year, I watched my brothers wrestle there, and they didn't do the best there. And after that, I was like, I wanted to wrestle down there and win the state championship. And I fell short the last few years, and it just kind of motivated me to work harder every practice to finally get down there on the big stage, and all the hard work paid off.
During the state championship match, Gonzalez met Danville's Jonathan Stidd. The contest would go to 2 overtimes, with Stidd gaining 1 point during the first overtime, which meant Tanner needed 2 points in the second overtime to win, which he got.
The first overtime we were on our feet, so I wasn't too worried about it because I'm pretty good on my feet. And then when we went to the second overtime, I wasn't confident on my bottom because I never was really good at bottom. So when I hit the reversal, I was pretty nervous, and then I thought he was just going to hang on there, and then I somehow managed to get my legs out of it.
While most students would be relishing in all the glory of winning a state title, Gonzalez is back to training, and he hopes that his success will show younger generations what can be achieved with hard work.
Hopefully they'll realize that they can accomplish it too, and keep working hard and be able to accomplish the goal. I was the 3rd state champion to come out of the UP, and hopefully there's many more to follow and the UP can keep growing.
Gonzalez will wrestle for Ellsworth Community College next year, hoping to continue his dream.
The Marquette Senior High School downhill ski teams have been leaving the rest of the Division I schools in the powder for quite some time. The Marquette boys won their 5th straight state championship. Brad Seaborg and Eric Genchev led the charge. Seaborg won the slalom and was 5th in the giant slalom. Genchev was the runner-up in both races. Seaborg says replacing one good skier with another was all the Redmen needed to be on top of the podium again.
It felt a lot like the states have passed. We lost Joe, he graduated last year. We picked up Eric, so it felt much like the same team. The snow, it was a little grainy in the morning, and then it hardened up for the second run of slalom, but by the 3rd and 4th run, they had a couple timing issues, so it got in the sun for a while. So it was pretty soft for the second run of GS.
The Redettes captured their second straight state title. Seda Scheidt was the state champ in the slalom. Ainsley Kirk had a pair of top 4 finishes. The Redettes had enough to get past both Traverse City schools to bring home another first place trophy.
My coach is telling me that it's something mental. Like, I just think that I'm way better at slalom than I am GS, but I guess I just like the more technical skiing. Like slalom, it's much more like fast-paced turns, much more technical, mental, and I guess I like that more.
The Marquette boys now have 12 state championships. The girls are not far behind with 10. The Marquette boys will need to replace a couple graduating seniors next season, but all the girls return.
As Coach Mercier said in his interview, the consecutive win streak will not be on his mind when he opens the season for the North Central Jets next year. But you can bet the players will be thinking about it.
Probably so, Ethan. They'll be challenged to keep it going as the team faces wholesale changes next season. Regardless of the fate of the Jets, you can bet that some UP team or teams will step up to represent Upper Michigan in a big way.
Showing the folks downstate what it means when we say UP Power.